In this mini lesson, I will be teaching the reading strategy of previewing. I will use the short story, The Number on My Grandfather's Arm by David A. Adler. By explaining the strategy explicitly beforehand and then using a think aloud method, students will be able to follow along and view what I'm doing as I work through this strategy. This lesson can be taught to 7th graders in social studies class. It will connect to their People and Societies benchmark, which is analyzing examples of interactions between cultural groups and explaining factors that contribute to cooperation and conflict. They will be learning about the Holocaust, and this book will connect to that content. Today we're going to talk about a reading strategy called previewing. Previewing a book means gathering as much information about the text as you can before you actually read it. You might ask yourself questions like, what is my purpose for reading? What does the title say about this book? Who's the author? Are there pictures or photographs? How is the text structured? Today we're going to practice this strategy using the book The Number on My Grandfather's Arm by David A. Adler. Looking at the front cover of this book, I'm noticing a few things. First of all, the title of the text is called The Number on My Grandfather's Arm. Now for me, this raises a few questions. I'm wondering, why is there a number on her grandfather's arm? I'm thinking, in jail, sometimes people used to get branded with numbers, so maybe her grandfather's in jail. I wonder why he's in jail. I wonder if that'll answer the question. I'm not sure why else he'd have a number on his arm unless he got a tattoo or something, but that seems like an awfully strange thing to get a tattoo for, right? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't get a tattoo of a number on my arm. Sounds like a barcode. Another thing I've noticed is that the author is David A. Adler. Now that rings a bell with me. I know I've read a couple of his other books, including a picture book of Jewish holidays. I read that when I was younger. So I know that David A. Adler is a Jewish author. So I wonder if this is another book about something to do with Jewish tradition, since the other books that I've read by him have all been about Jewish tradition or the history of Jewish people. I wonder if this book has anything to do with that. Another thing I've noticed about this book is that there's a picture on the cover and the back, and both the pictures are actually real photographs. So maybe this book is about a real person. And it looks like the pictures are in black and white, and the clothes they're wearing aren't clothes that I see a lot today. So this book must take place several years ago. It must be an older book or about something that happened a long time ago, because that's what these pictures are telling me about the setting. It's saying that these pictures must have been taken probably when my mom was younger, so maybe in the 1940s or the 1950s, maybe even the 60s. The other thing that I'm thinking might be important is that we're reading this book in social studies. And in social studies right now, I know that we're studying World War II and the Holocaust. So maybe this story takes place during World War II or afterwards, and that would make sense because the pictures are in black and white. So maybe this has something to do with the Holocaust because I know that the author is Jewish. So maybe he's writing about the Holocaust, and maybe the number on my grandfather's arm has something to do with the Holocaust. I'm not sure what, but I guess we'll have to read to find out if I'm right. Now I've written down all my observations on a sheet of paper because some of them are kind of questions. When does the book take place, and why is the number on my grandfather's arm the title? What does that have to do with? So while I'm reading, I can answer these questions, and these previewing ideas and observations that I've noticed may actually help me understand the text or give me a purpose for reading, because I'm looking for the answers and I'm trying to find out if I'm right. Now that you've seen how previewing is done, you can understand how previewing helps you to gather information about a text before you read it. This is important because it can help you understand the text, engage with the text, and give you a purpose for reading, such as reading with a question in mind, or reading to answer questions. The previewing questions and observations we came up with will help us understand the book as we read it.